Thank you very much, Dr. Wang, Dr. Mabel, distinguished colleagues, distinguished guests. Thank you very much for hosting us in this book launching event, which I think is a very important signal to the efforts of CCG in fostering communication between China and the world, even though a lot of effort is needed in this, as has been presented. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you realize today is the anniversary of what is called the Ides of March. That is the day when Julius Caesar was assassinated. And that began the real Second World War that happened after the First Greco-Persian War. So I assume this is the Second World War. Not really a very nice omen to begin with, but nevertheless, it's part of our world reality. Having said that, I think that what you asked us to do, Dr. Wang, is to comment on China and the world in a changing context, or the bilateral relations. So I will focus more on the first one, as the second one can be read by everybody in this magnificent volume that you have published. So we are ambassadors here in China. We all know what China is. We all know what China is about. We all know as ambassadors here that China is fine, well, prospering, developing at a very rapid rate, in which we are all, I think, interested in learning from this model. However, the world is not. The world is ill. We have serious problems all over, serious international problems that we all need to address. Illness is not just about COVID, ladies and gentlemen. No, the illness of the world is about an aging planet, our bellicose situations that we're having, problems relating to trade, problems relating to geopolitical uncertainties, vulnerabilities. The list is very, very long. However, I think that we all agree, whether de facto or de jure, whether by what we say or what we have written in the book, or by the comments that there are certain cues to the illness that we are facing. I think that the first thing is the fact that we need to recognize that we are living in an interdependent world, as some of my colleagues here just mentioned it. However, interdependence here has reached such a large scale, like never before in the history of international relations. Today, political rivals are completely interdependent with each other. And that adds difficulty in management of problems among interstates, but also adds opportunities. I think that the second point we all agreed upon is the fact that we need to uphold the international multilateral structures as well as reinforcing it. We have no other alternative. History has shown us this, practice has made it sure for all of us. However, if we cannot change the realist perspective that all states are going in what we call interest defined in power, then let us rearrange our definition of what we mean by interest and what we mean by power. So let us understand, all of us, that the use of force is not going to be an addition to our interest. Let us all agree that the issue of relative gains has to be eliminated from our political dictionary, and added to it the concept of aggrandizement of gains that we might have from our relations. Communications, ladies and gentlemen, is another very important aspect that we need to focus on in doing this. All on the all level, not only among politicians, but among societies, among what you might call third track diplomacy, among events that we are having, like the ones we are having here today. And I think that a final element that we all need to be very cognizant about is the fact that we have to respect each other's cultures and each other's way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody holds the moral high ground in this world. Nobody. Yes, in the Old Testament, God said that he has created man in his own image, but there is no mandate for states to create other states in their own image. And I think this this is something of fundamental importance which needs to be reflected in relations between states or interstate relations. Now, if we take all of these issues above and see, I can tell you that they represent what we might call the framework of the relationship between Egypt and China. This relationship has been built on the concept of mutual respect. It has been built on the concept of a win-win situation. It has been built on the concept of non-interference in our affairs. And at the same time, we hold the same thing, the same principles to a very, very high level. Among all of this, we have had a very beneficial relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, China was the first country to come to the aid of Egypt when it came to fighting COVID-19. We have received in the beginning a million, followed by another million of the vaccines at a time when we really did not have any. No country in the world was able to offer us or to offer the world. And this is something we will never forget. At a time when we needed medical equipment to fight COVID and to reduce the death rates, China was there. We had nearly an airlift of planes flying from China and supporting Egypt in its request, whether by grants, but mostly purchased. So in reality, we have learned a lot. We have received a lot from China, and we have given China a lot. China is our largest, individually as a state, of course, it's our largest, trading partner. And of course, when it comes to investment, not yet, but we are hoping and we are striving for all of this. So this I wouldn't like to use the word a beacon for relations or how relations should be, or interstate relations should be, but I can tell you that it has been a very shining model in this regard. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, Egypt is the president designate of COP27, and we are going to host it in Sharm el-Sheikh in November of this year. And we are holding a lot of communications with a lot of countries in the world in order to reach a sort of a formula for all the problems of our aging planet. And in this regard, China is included and one of our main partners in order to reach a sort of an understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, our aging planet and our vulnerable health, as well as all the other problems that we have seen, are more of the reasons for us to change not only our agenda, but also our narrow modules of how we function in our interstate relations and our political behavior. And as Shakespeare once said, let us not commit a murder in healing a wound. The planet has so many wounds, ladies and gentlemen, that need to be healed by cooperation, by interdependence, by mutual understanding, by respect of each other. And all of this falls into the same category. Thank you very much, Professor.